Boyfriend, 28M, found out how much money I, 28F, have and started making demands. I want to make it clear that I've always spent money on my boyfriend, buying him nice things and whatnot. He got his PS4 and new gaming PC because of me. My boyfriend, however, found out that I have a good amount of money and has started to be quite weird about it. Several times he's referred to my money as our money, and using our money to buy him the luxury car he's dreamed of having. He wants us to move out of separate apartments and get a house together, and has said instead of getting him a small Christmas gift that I should fund a trip for him to see Europe. I'm from Italy and have family in Bulgaria, Croatia, and the Netherlands, and he is from Canada. Buying the luxury car, it's less whether I can afford it and more that seems like something you get your husband or wife, and not your boyfriend of 3 years. The house I can understand if we were engaged or something, but we aren't, though he has talked about marriage several times in the past few months, and yes, I can afford a trip for both of us to tour Europe, but whereas it's something I might have thought of for us to do before, he only brought this up after finding out that I do have the money to pay for it. Relevant comments. OP has experienced this before. The sad thing is this is exactly how our old relationship ended. It got serious, BF found out about money, started going nuts and demanding things. BF found out because we went to visit my family in Italy and my parents, grandparents, and the 2 sets of aunts and uncles that we visited all have very large lavish places. I live in a smallish apartment that suits my needs, but the difference between my apartment and my home back in Italy was very noticeable. He asked me what was up and I told him my family is wealthy, but it's not something I try to let define me. The relationship was pretty good up until he found out. I would hate to break up with him because I do love him and love being with him, but the way he's been acting plus past experiences pretty much tells me things are only going to go south now. I was treated very well, I was happy, and yes, he has a consistent job. I don't always buy expensive gifts. The PS4 and computer are the only 2 things that qualify as expensive. Everything else is little things here and there, a t-shirt or a snow globe or something like that. You misunderstand. I don't throw money around. Up until my boyfriend saw my family homes, he had no clue I had any kind of money, and my own personal finances that I make isn't something I talk about. I don't go buying cars and all that crazy stuff. People do randomly buy small tokens for their SOs, you know. If this ends single, is what I'll be for a while, and any soul searching that happens is for me, not any future relationship or partner. Update. So I didn't automatically dump my boyfriend. I decided I'd have a talk with him. I told him that it was basically really inappropriate to find out I have money and start making demands. I told him I have no problems using my finances for a relationship, but that he shouldn't automatically expect that I'm going to put out money on very expensive things for him, just because. He seemed very ashamed and agreed that it was a really crappy thing to do, and he got carried away and a bit too excited. I told him I understood, but to do that was very disrespectful to me and the time we've shared together because it made me feel like all of a sudden my money is what mattered. For a little while, it seemed all was well. Then the other day, we were having a minor argument over something that turned into a bigger argument, and he said something along the lines of, well, you don't even want to use what you have for us, so maybe you've never really cared about me. He got really quiet as though he knew that was a crappy thing to say, and we didn't talk until 2 days later. I was really angry. I was going to talk things through with him. However, this came to relationship fatality. He told a couple people we're good with, despite me asking him to keep the money quiet, that I was really rich and could afford tons of things. How did I find out? Saturday, we all went drinking together. He got a bit too much in his system and ordered an expensive bottle of wine. One of our friends was like, who orders that wine? We're good with our beers, and that's too expensive. Our other friend piped up and was like, no, it's good since Opie is really rich. She can pick up our tab tonight. Cue several other people who I've never told about my family's money suddenly grilling me on why I never trusted them enough to tell them about my money and thought we were friends, that kind of thing. I broke up with him the next day. He's been blowing up my phone all day, but screw him. I could have moved past what he said the other day when we were arguing, but to tell people I specifically asked him not to, something I trusted him so much with. Yep, I've lost a 3-year relationship and am probably going to lose a few friends as well. Edit. For everyone asking, the bottle was $460. I didn't pay for the bottle of wine. I left in a very pissy mood. He thought I was going outside to calm down. About an hour later, he started blowing up my phone. I haven't seen him since, but broke it off over the phone.